And sure enough, we get there! Hooray! Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. We're going to be playing some Magic the Gathering Arena, as always. And, you know, we've got kind of a sweet brew for you here today. This is kind of a budget-adjacent deck, we'll call it. I'm not sure if, you know, people might push back at the idea of it being a budget deck, because there are several rares in it. But they're also very easily replaced with other cards, and, you know, without a lot of detriment. What are we doing here, folks? Well, it's ninjas. Specifically in Historic here, the Ninja Tribe is kind of aggressive, right? With the addition of Silver Fur Master and Kamigawa, ninjas get +1/+1, and the ninjutsu ability is less to activate. Is like, it gives them an opportunity to kind of get aggressive in ways that they hadn't previously been able to, right? You know, it's just the one Lord, and there are plenty of draws where you might not get to it. So they're still, you know, they would still probably like another Lord at some point in the future, but for now, they have gotten a lot more aggressive since previous iterations. What other things have they got? Well, Swarm Saboteur is one of the rares in the deck. This is not a requirement. You could do without this by just having some other random ninja in the deck. When it deals combat damage to a player, conjure a card named Virus Beetle into your hand. So you just get the Virus Beetle, which is nice because Virus Beetle can then be ninjutsu'd back into your hand to make them discard again when you cast it back out. Similarly, Thousand Face Shadow is another card that is in here because it's early. It can come down and have evasion, so it's most likely to go unblocked, and then you can ninjutsu with it. But later on, it also ninjutsus and has a very, very powerful ninjutsu ability. 4 mana ninjutsu when it enters the battlefield from your hand. If it's attacking, create a token that's copy of another target attacking creature. That token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. So if you are using, let's say, Mist-Syndicate Naga, 3 mana 3/1 ninjutsu for 3. Whenever Mist-Syndicate Naga deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Mist-Syndicate Naga. We can, you know, maybe make copies of the Mist-Syndicate Naga. We could also theoretically make copies of our Silver Fur Master, and getting over that more than one Lord effect thing, sure. Yep. But, of course, the core of the deck is Ingenious Infiltrator and Ninja the D-Powers. When Ninja the D-Powers deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. When Ingenious Infiltrator says, whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So these both ninjutsu for 2 mana. So they say 4 mana, but they're really just 2 mana cards. This deck is actually quite low to the ground, hence the only 22 lands, though admittedly 22 is kind of a lot in this deck because of how low to the ground we are. It is possible to build this with even maybe like 2 fewer lands and maybe just go more 1-drops or something like that. I think we're kind of where we want to be, which is why I built it this way. But the only other cards that are interesting here, Changeling Outcast, it can't block and can't be blocked, and it is a shapeshifter changeling, so it is a ninja. So it gains all of the ninja things. You know, whenever a ninja you control draw a card, it gets +1/+1. All that sort of thing, right? So very nice, and it's unblockable, right? Similarly, Faerie Seer does have evasion. It is not a ninja nor a rogue or anything like that. It's actually a fairy wizard, but when it enters, scry 2. So if we cast it on turn 1, it's likely to go unblocked, so we can ninjutsu in our Ingenious Infiltrators, Ninja the D-Powers to draw a bunch of cards, right? But just the pay 1 mana scry 2 effect is kind of good, right? It's admittedly, it's not strictly draw a card, but putting any number of unneeded cards to the bottom is quite strong. So then being able to bounce it back and scry 2 some more later on is actually quite strong. Do not underestimate this card at all. If you're building it, you should definitely have this. And again, common, so it's not even that big of a commitment. I think it is good if we do have some number of the dual style lands. You do want them untapped, for the record. But again, buildable without them. So if you're building it, I would say, yeah, something similar to this, but not required. This deck could be essentially assembled for all commons and uncommons should you choose to, because the core of the deck, Silver Fur Masters, Ninja the D-Powers, Ingenious Infiltrators, Changeling Outcasts, Faerie Seer, and then removal package, a little bit of fail push, things like that, Tyrant Scorn, all of it commons and uncommons. So filling in around it, very possible if you were looking for a budget plan. That said, how about we see how it performs in its current state? All right, folks, you are up against Mr. Sabamba. Good luck, Mr. Sabamba. And yeah, we're going to hang on to this. We have a Changeling Outcast into ninja-ing things, so can't complain too much. Luris the Dream Den, our opponents play. So it's likely they're just doing aura stuff, is my best guess. They mulligan. And are thinking about it. They elect to pass the turn back. Changeling Outcast going to show up, and we're going to go ahead and pass the turn. It is a Plains, and they pass. All right, well, fine. These things are fine. Ninja of the Deep Hours. Yep. We're going to draw a card. Don't mind if I do. Tyrant Scorn. That's a good one. That is a good one, folks. Our opponent likely going to play an aura-related creature this turn. Oh. They do. They don't have the mana, folks. Interesting. All right. Well, we're going to shock that in. Fatal Push the Spirit Dancer. Draw a card. Hey, yep. Good deal, folks. Good deal. We're just going to get a bunch of things down on the board and see what our opponent has to say now. Mr. Sabamba goes with Hushbringer. Well, we're going to go ahead and destroy a Hushbringer. And then attack. And Mr. Sabamba says, I have no more creatures, so I'm going to scoop them up. I think that's reasonable. In fairness, we were also likely, you know, this turn, we were intending to bounce back the Thousand Face Shadow, putting in an Ingenious Infiltrator, which would have drawn us, you know, we draw a card here, we draw 3 more. You know, our hand is full. We likely draw into more removal anyway, so even if they did top deck a creature, we were likely to be able to remove it. If they did stone nothing because they did not top deck a creature, because certainly that was the plan, it just gets worse. We are able to either Mist-Syndicate Naga to just blow the game wide open, or Thousand Face Shadow to, you know, we would have picked that up last turn. We would be able to ninjutsu it in, picking this up, to copy one of, you know, our Ingenious Infiltrators to draw even more cards, you know, to look for answers that we didn't even yet need. So, you know, Mr. Samamba definitely, not, you know, entirely justified in scooping them up. So, GG, Mr. Samamba, GG. All right, folks, here we are against Adri440. Good luck, Adri440. And yeah, we're going to keep this. Going to start on Faerie Seer. Do a little bit of scrying. Don't mind if I do. Join the party. Yeah, I don't think we want either of those, honestly. It's tempting, but I don't think it is a thing we will avail ourselves to. Our opponent, if they can't get rid of Faerie Seer this turn, in fact, they cannot, is going to be facing down a 4-drop on turn 2, which is a little awkward. The good news here, folks, is at the very least, even if they kill our Ingenious Infiltrator now, we've already drawn a card, and we get to bounce back the Faerie Seer, which is not, like, amazing or anything, but we get to scry 2 again, which maybe not strictly equivalent to draw a card, but we did just bottom 2 lands. We did not want to draw these. So getting rid of them is almost as good as, you know, drawing them. Whew, good heavens. That was, that startled me. It was Offspring sneaking in and bringing me coffee. It was very nice of her. All right, so let's go ahead and island, Fatal Push, and attack, see what we get. What do we draw? Well, Changeling Outcast is not quite what the doctor ordered, but it's also not the end of the world. Going to scry. Oh, hold on. That one we definitely want. Okay. Thousand Face Shadow going to join the party as well. Opponent, what have you got there? Going to kill our Ingenious Infiltrator down to 12. That's a relatively low life total here. They haven't really done a whole lot. And, you know, if they don't start doing something soon, we're just going to beat them down with, you know, really small creatures. You find the villain's lair, draw 2, discard 2. Is this just a little reanimation? It is. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and do this thing. Crash in. Opponent drops to 6. We draw, we draw. We will need Inconvenience. All right, so if our opponent has a land drop, they just get back Sarah's Emissary on creature. We have to draw into Tyrant Scorn now. Fatal Push not going to do it. Yeah. Not ideal, folks. Not ideal. Yeah, that doesn't do it. Adri 440, looking for those free wins. I wonder if we were just supposed to ninjutsu back a Faerie Seer to scry there, probably, I guess. All right, these things are fine. These things are fine. Okay. Well, combat. Not that. That. And Ninja the D-Powers. Bring it back. Yep. These things are fine. Faerie Seer. Scries. That doesn't do it, and that doesn't do it. All right. Well, the opponent has Otherworldly Gaze. Not good, man. Not good. Yep. I mean, we have seen a good chunk of our deck. 5 cards on the bottom. And 16 cards drawn. So we're down to 39 cards in the library. It's not unreasonable to expect to see one anytime soon. Of course, you know, shuffling. That's... all right. If they cast Elishnorn, we will just scoop. Okay. You got us. GG, Adri. GG. All right, folks. Here we are up against Rhinoa. Good luck, Rhinoa. I had no idea that we would be up against Final Fantasy VIII characters, but, you know, I'm up to the challenge. I'm up to the challenge. I remain unintimidated. Faerie Seer going to join the party, do a little scrying. Yeah, let's bottom both of those in case they have removal spells. You know, we want to be able to get in with an, you know, draw card style creatures. Okay, well, that's a good one. Ingenious Infiltrator going to join the party. Opponent going to gain a little life. That's okay, because we're going to take a little bit of it right back and draw cards. We do need interaction, so Fatal Push. Not the case. All right, inconvenient. And Speaker of Heavens joins the party. Okay. All right. Well, let's go with Silverfur Master. Gain our opponent a life. Crash in with Ingenious Infiltrator. See what they have to say about this. Not making a land drop here on purpose. You know, trying to entice them to block. In fact, they do. Of course, not knowing that we do, in fact, have the land drop. And we're actually going to go with the unblockable dude, because it is, you know, a rogue and a ninja, as it turns out. But you only get the +1/+1 one time. And so we're going to be able to take a few of these life points back away. So combat. Next. Get in, get in. If our opponent elects to kill the Ingenious Infiltrator, that is okay. All right, they elect not to. This is very good news because this, of course, triggers Revolt. So our opponent going to gain life up 26. Not ideal, but we draw 3 cards, which is maybe not actually ideal. Like, you know, who knows? Maybe we could draw 10 cards or something. But it's pretty darn close to ideal, if you ask me. We're going to kill ourselves a Righteous Valkyrie. Go with a Changeling Outcast and a Faerie Seer. And scry away 2 lands. Good heavens. Yeah, that's okay with me. It's a lot of lands we've seen, folks. Admittedly, we've drawn a lot of cards. When you draw cards, occasionally, lands will be among them. That is just a true statement. Resplendent Angel shows up, gains a little life. Hey, don't mind if I do. Yeah, folks, we're just gonna get rid of this right now. And try and get as much damage in as possible. It's, you know, there's just no way we were ever going to want to allow the Resplendent Angel to survive, so 3 cards are drawn. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go with another Faerie Seer. Gain our opponent life, do some scrying, away some more lands. Good heavens. It's actually kind of tempting to go with another Faerie Seer, actually. But the Swarm Shambler, no, let's just scry. We can ninjutsu this and do some more of this if we want to. Oh, Mist-Syndicate Naga. No. That's great. Holy crud. Sign me up for that, folks. Sign me up for that. All right, opponent goes with Skyclave Apparition. What do you get? Silverfur Master? Doing a lot of damage. Yeah. Not overly surprising there. Definitely makes this situation a little more awkward, but it's okay. So we're going to go ahead and attack. Opponent going to block, unsurprisingly. We are going to Swarm Saboteur here. Back up Faerie Seer. Because, honestly, we don't want them to be able to cast whatever that is. It could be Collected Company, it could be Heliod, it could be, you know, who knows what. We want to get that thing out of there, so we're going to have our Swarm Shambler give us a Virus Beetle, and that Virus Beetle is going to take care of whatever it is in Rhinoa's hand. Our opponent, of course, recognizing, oh, shoot, Virus Beetle. And then they're going to be living off the top of their deck. They don't have board sweepers, so even if they got Collected Company that hit Skyclave Apparition, which it would be kind of their best hits, what do they get here? They get, like, Ingenious Infiltrator, Swarm Saboteur. Okay, but they just saw, we're literally ready to go to discard phase here. We have more ninjas. They don't know what they are. True. We have them. And we, in fact, do have them, right? So our opponent's scooping them up. I don't blame them. Just move on to the next game. Just move on. So GG, Rhinoa, GG. All right, folks, here we are up against Chaton Black, and yeah, I mean, this hand looks good. Good luck, Chaton Black. Going to start on Changeling Outcast. We really don't want them to kill it. We would like to get Ninja the Deep Hours in, start drawing some cards. You know how that is. Opponent goes with a Hallowed Fountain. Fine. We go with Changeling Outcast. Your go, Chaton Black. Your go. Another white mana joins the party. We're going to go ahead and attack with Changeling Outcast. Ninja the Deep Hours joins the party. And connects. Does. All right, we draw a card. What do we get? It's an island. Fair enough. We would have preferred another black mana there. Uh-oh, Faithful Mending. Is this another graveyard deck, folks? These are very common in Historic right now. This list does not have a lot of graveyard interaction. And by not a lot of, I mean, we have actual 0 copies of anything that interacts with the graveyard. So, you know, might be a direction you choose to take your list, if that's the sort of thing that worries you. So I guess land Silver Fur Master to make things awkward, crash in, see if they want to... okay. We draw a card. It's a Faerie Seer. Yes. All right. So we're mainly looking for ways of interacting with big nasty creatures. So Sarah's emissaries, things like that. But, you know, even fatal pushes would be okay to get rid of the Priest of Fell Rites to make things difficult on them. Okay, opponent going to Ashiok Dreamrender themselves, exile our Ben. They get nothing of note. And Inquisition Kozilek going to take away our Silver Fur Master, or Mist-Syndicate Naga, almost certainly is my best guess. Probably Silver Fur Master. Yeah, indeed. Not quite sure why they didn't do that first so they could exile it. Although, I'll admit, likely doesn't matter too much because, you know, there isn't... Okay. Opponent allowing it. Is this player or planeswalker deals damage to a player? Yeah, okay. So I thought. All right. Ingenious Infiltrator goes or comes down. Our creatures go in. We do draw 2. It is a Mist-Syndicate Naga and a Mist-Syndicate Naga. All right. Well, darn it, folks. Really wanted to get rid of this Priest of Fell Rites. That is very annoying. Okay. Fatal Push. That's a good one. You know, we kind of wanted the swamp as well. Kind of unfortunate to have to put that to the bottom. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Faithful Mending. Draws and discards. Into Jin-Gitaxias. Okay, I think they'll get that back. Yep, they do. Just in time, opponent, just in time. Thoughtseize going to have a look at our hand. And we're definitely not thrilled about these things. Opponent gets to draw 7. Feels a little bit unfair. And we're drawing a card that interacts with a card that is no longer on the battlefield. So that also not ideal as well. So combat, get in. Opponent going to block Ninja the Deep Hours. All right, well, Mist-Syndicate Naga. Sending back a Faerie Seer. And Mist-Syndicate Naga. Sending back a... An Ingenious Infiltrator. Yeah. Just trying to kill our opponent, folks. If they have ways of interacting, we're going to die. It is what it is. But we have gone wide. And what more can you ask for, you know? Please do not have Elesh Norn onto the battlefield this turn. Whatever happens, no Elesh Norn, chat on black. Please, no Elesh Norn. Opponent. Thinking about it. Does have a land drop. Several mana. Stitch Supplier shows up. Yep. Mills over a few things. Lord Xander among them. That is a nasty card, but not a card that's going to solve the game. And sure enough, we get there! Hooray! Never didn't have it, folks. Wasn't worried for a second. We knew. We knew we were going to get them. You know? GG. GG. All right, folks, here we are up against Comrade Solar. Good luck, Comrade Solar. And we're going to keep this, yeah. And I think we're just going to go tapped because we don't have a turn 1 play anyway. A little bit awkward. You know, hey, Swarm Saboteur is exactly what the doctor ordered. We want to be able to ninjutsu and do all that kind of stuff, you know. But, you know, we had plenty of interaction. We have really, really powerful cards as long as we draw into one of our smaller things. And we did. Unfortunately, our opponent has Play with Fire because they're a jerk, I guess. It's not probably true, but feels bad, you know? Opponent goes with Consider again. Sends away a counter spell. And we get to turn Or they get the turn back. So opponent just going to kill our Silver Fur Master as well? Yep, sure. How about a Changeling Outcast? Comrade Solar. Goes to the Soul Scar Mage. Okay. Well, that's a good one. We're going to go ahead and attack. To blockers. Ninja the Deep Hours. And to damage. Happens. We draw a card. It's a swamp. Hey, well, Fatal Push. How do you like it when the shoe's on the other foot, Comrade Solar? Huh? Huh? How do you like them apples? And they probably don't care much. They're obviously, you know, heavily in on the blue-red control plan. Changeling Outcast joins the party, and the opponent on 7 cards in hand. Obviously has been digging for lands. Expressive Iteration happens, and an island makes it to the battlefield. Symmetry Sage shows up. Well, not going to give them the freedom to do the things that they want to do. We're going to crash in. And actually, is that right? No. Let's do it like this. And just get both of these onto the board so that it's difficult for our opponent to get rid of these Mist-Syndicate Nagas. It's also true. That's, you know, this is kind of a lot of damage. Changeling Outcast join the party. They now have to remove both of these Mist-Syndicate Nagas, or, you know, they run the risk of, you know, profligating. Oh, boy. Eruth, Tormented Prophet. Wow, okay. Well, you know, that is not going to change what we're up to here. Ingenious Infiltrator going to come down on the Changeling Outcast, bring it back to hand. Whole bunch of ninja stuff's going to happen. That's going to be a bunch of card drawing and a little bit of Mist-Syndicate Naga generating card advantage. Faerie Seer joins the party. Thousand Face Shadow, I think we will do that. Changeling Outcast. Changeling Outcast. Our opponent at 6. Do they have... Okay, Wizard's Lightning. That is not a board sweeper. Was really worried about Anger the Gods there, but... Alright. I mean, sure. Opponent Mentor's Guidance. But they're still just dead here, right? They've already made a land drop. You just scry and draw all you want. Got it. Yeah. GG, Comrade Solar. GG. All right, folks, we are back. We are back. And boy, oh boy, did we have a great time. That was a lot of fun. We had some really interesting matchups. I think that on the whole, the deck did quite well. And honestly, the Swarm Saboteur was not super necessary. I was a little bit surprised by that. I think the deck is likely better with it here, but it's even more expendable than I initially had thought. And I think you easily could do almost any other ninja in its spot, and that would be fine. It was kind of nice, though, when it was able to come down relatively early and get ninjutsu back if we needed to draw cards, things like that. So it's a fine card, but, you know, it could be replaced pretty easily if you didn't want to spend the wild cards on it. It is also true we did, in a number of different occasions, want more removal. I think Tyrant Scorn was quite good, but we had some, like, you know, in matchups like Reanimate, things like that, we easily could have, you know, would have wanted more Tyrant Scorns and stuff. So I think maybe having Tyrant Scorn as a 4-of is a good idea. Maybe some other things as well. Maybe some other removal pieces as well, just because there were so many different times when we really wanted that. And, you know, maybe we had it or maybe we didn't. So I could easily see the situation, a situation where maybe you just remove all of these and just go like 2 more Tyrant Scorn, maybe 2 Bloodchief's Thirst or something like that, just to make sure to keep bashing in there and tempoing our opponent out of the game. Either way, the deck was fun. I encourage you, if this is your style build, by all means, put this thing together and have a great time. That said, you folks have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.